Okay.
No, this is interesting. I like the setup.
Ooh, okay.
Will being on the shorter end.
Yeah, short kings.
Yeah,
Short kings.
we out here. Yeah, so I wanted to go recap on the weekend. You know, we just finished the choreo. Been like 6 months of work.
5.
5 months of work.
And
And
if you count off-season training,
That don't count. I was
it don't
struggling.
count. It don't
That
count.
didn't exist.
don't exist.
But how do you guys feel about choreo?
You guys go
Choreo, how you did, and what were some lessons you learned about yourself as you went through choreography? That's a good one.
Oh, I guess I'm going first. I just don't like how I look on stage performing. But it was nice doing it. It was like a hurdle for me. You know what I mean? In and of itself, just getting up stage.
Why don't you like how you look?
Because it could have looked better. Like when I do the choreo, I don't look as good as if the directors did it. So I could definitely clean stuff up, be more intentional.
Right.
Make it look cleaner. Make it not look like me.
But it was cool though. It was super fun afterwards. Up until then, I kind of like started hating everything because the nerves got to me.
Most improved though.
Hey, you did.
Hey.
Will got most improved award.
That was nice.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
improved.
How do you feel about that, Will? We got to interview the most improved
I know
guy
you
here,
have to
dude.
interview the most improved person.
MIP, most
MIP.
improved person, bro.
Oh,
That was very nice. That was surprising.
What did it take to become the most improved, Will?
Exactly.
We need to.
I would ask them the same
Get
thing,
inside
or
your
the
mind.
directors the same thing. No, it was nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but I wouldn't say I feel like I don't deserve it. But
I feel like
I it's their judgment, so I will respect it. Like I'm happy for it, you know.
Right.
I feel like you deserve it though.
Oh,
I think
thanks.
Don't you think so?
I think you do. I think that you have definitely you've definitely developed your style and you're still working through it, but I think it's really important like acknowledging the fact that like where you were 6 months ago versus right now, it's
Yes.
like night and day, you know?
Oh, that's cool.
So-
Thank you.
I think acknowledging it is a very important part of like growing as a dancer.
Yeah, take your wins, dude.
Damn, I sounded smart for
Just
once.
take your wins. What are you talking about? You always sound smart,
Thank
bro.
you. That's very nice of you to say.
Yeah, I would like social dance. Jose would before like Liz came around.
Yeah.
Who's Liz?
We had so much fun.
Yeah, who's Liz? Yeah, I don't even know. Like, yeah, I would social dance with Jose after class. Like, we would just go for an hour and a half, 2 hours if we got out early at a class,
And just social dance.
and then just stay up like we did with Denny for like I don't know maybe an hour or two just talking about dance. It like kind of consumed me, but I'm kind of happy.
I got that.
I didn't expect it. I didn't even know that was a thing.
But yeah, I would social dance a lot, and that took so much out of me. I got to sacrifice the gym, sleep, and everything, but I just wanted to put in as many hours as I could into doing the thing I wanted, which was dance, or which is dance. And yeah, it was nice getting acknowledged.
Well, what was it about dance that made you be like, all right, this is worth my time. This is worth the sacrifice of like letting go of the gym and all.
I just want to get good because like I suck starting out. I mean, you starting out, you suck at anything, and I feel like I'm so new that
It hasn't been a year yet for me, so I feel like if I can just take attend both teams and social dance as much as possible, just putting as much time and effort in the beginning, just like going ham, hoping like I would progress quicker. You know what I mean?
I want to just break that plateau, whatever it is.
That
You
veteran
are
dancers tell me.
you are growing quicker because imagine if you only do like let's say you only developed your mambo and you didn't do any bachata, like you'd be like an uneven dancer, you know. So I mean you are going a lot quicker than you think. You just don't know what it is because
It's hard
you
to
never give that opportunity.
Yeah, it's hard to be aware of that when I'm just in the thick of it, just doing choreo or just attending class. And that's another thing, if you just go to class and you don't social dance, I feel like that's a huge well, how do you say, like,
Loss of potential.
yeah, because you're not applying what you learn. You know, if the follow kind of knows the routine, then you're kind of, to some degree, you're being backled. Compared to, like, just, like, grabbing some drunk, you know, cougar at Dave and Buster's, and then she doesn't know what's going on, and you try one of Eddie's, like, really intense turn patterns. Like, that's, like, putting yourself to the test.
Can you explain what backleading is to people who don't know?
I don't know, I'm new, dude.
Can you guys?
What are you talking about, Will?
You know what it is. Come on, you know what it is.
It's what I ask, like, really good follows, like, when I don't know what I'm doing, like, hey, can you backlead? Like, I don't know. like, I forgot this turn pattern. I forgot this floor count. Like, can you, like, just help me out, make me look good? No. It's when they backlead. Isn't that self-explanatory? No.
I don't think so. I feel like
You don't?
I used to hear.
Why are you asking the beginner?
Well, you're the most improved, Will. You're like spotlight right now.
I'm still improving, so.
All right, what's backleading?
Backleading is basically the act of the follow while you're dancing with somebody. So like me and Jose were dancing, right? And if he was trying to force the move, like if I'm the leader and if I'm doing a move, but he anticipates it, and instead of him letting me perform it, he does it himself. So in that way, it's like you reduce that connection because all you're doing is now you're not following, you're becoming a leader, which is not bad, but it's also like there's a reason why those two papers are there. It's so that way you can have a cohesive dance, right?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say all that. Like,
no,
I'm so glad you explained it.
But I mean, it's. But you understand what it is, and then that's the thing. It's like backleading. It becomes like it's hard to like let go, but that's the beauty of following, like letting go. And with leading, it's like fuck, like it's hard because all of it is on you, but it's like the good thing is that it's all of it is on you.
Wow,
you have more control,
deep, dude.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm improving now. I'm like improving because you gave me that explanation. I'm like most improved Earth thanks to you.
Knowledge, bro.
Yeah.
We're gearing up for season 5 MIP. Will.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Two-time MIP.
Oh, dang.
Put that shit on
Dude,
the
that's
podcast.
I don't know if I can do it again.
Could we talk about you
No.
mentioned the whole. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about it.
What were we talking about?
No, the social dancing. The importance of social dancing.
Yeah, let's go back to that for the beginners, like who want to improve as much as they can. Like, what was their point on social dancing? Why should they go out? Like, or what was your question?
Okay, so my main thing is because our first Congress, we went social dancing. I remember I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go social dance on Saturday for like a couple hours, and I'm gonna go straight to bed so I can have energy on Sunday. And I remember me and Jose got hungry and we're like, fuck, we want pizza. So we went back to Ed's place, and he had pizza there, and Ross went with us. And that's when Ross explained to us, like, yo, like, if you want to get better, just stay up until 8 in the morning dancing and push yourself to progress regardless of how bad you fuck up. And I think that was, I didn't understand it because I was thinking of it from a logical point, right? Like, well, they're both logical points, but I was like, oh, like, I want to have energy for Sunday, but then it's like my issue, there's only so much that like the Congress, like the workshops, there's only so much that they could do for me as a beginner because I couldn't even keep up. So as a social dancing would be much more beneficial than if I took 3 extra workshops the next day. So it's just more, it's that like if you want to continue to progress and get better, you need to do 1,000 freaking left turns for your follow, 1,000 right turns, knowing how to do a crossbody in salsa, doing an inside turn, all of those things, because there's no, if you do it in practice, like it helps you, but in full reality, all you're doing is just following like a half choreo, you know? Versus if you're doing it on like in real life, right? Like when you're social dancing, like, you know, it's that whole like what's that Bruce Lee quote?
Practicing like 1,000 kicks. Yeah, it's just getting your reps in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing
like,
with anything.
yeah.
Like in the gym, same thing. It's like, you know, like, sorry, you can explain that because I'm not gonna explain that.
Oh well, yeah, it's just getting your reps in. Like if
you're going to the gym, you're not just doing one exercise once. You're doing that however many times, how many sets or reps
So your
within.
muscles literally break.
Yeah, like you do that one day and then you progress, you get sore and you try to push yourself the next day. And that's the same thing with social dancing, where not.
One of the intermediate, I overheard one of the intermediate dancers asking
One of the directors how they can get better at social dancing. And they pretty much just said, we just go social dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ever since Denny told me that, I just literally that day I realized, oh no, like class isn't good enough. I would just before the season start, I would just go to class and go straight home and not look at the videos. I mean, to be honest, I don't look at it now because to be fair, I'm busy. But that sounds horrible.
I know,
but I know I'm like
everybody
I'm
does it.
super,
No,
I'm super
it's
busy. Like I wish I could carve out time for it, but that's why I do go out social dancing to at least if I could take one thing away from class and like try that 1,000 times that night, then I feel like I'm doing something. Because yeah, it's for me. It's just even doing the basic. Like I need to do that like however many times to even remember it. Because I can't just do something and then remember it. I mean that's why you just practice. There's just extra practice if you think about it that way. So I just wanted to, I guess like speed run my progression. Just go social dance as much as I can, and hopefully I'll get better faster. That's pretty much it. Because I know going to class isn't enough. In my experience, I don't know. I'm still
I
Learning.
I do notice that. What do you think is easier, learning as a follow or as a lead?
Are we all leads here?
We all are leads.
Yeah, kind of a little bit neat.
Let's get in here.
I don't know. I think they're both hard because like
I mean, we've followed before, right?
I
But here
follow.
and there, but not
Here and
like
there.
Not like full time.
consistently.
Yeah. But I think the hardest thing it's that like it's the same thing. Like whenever I follow, the few times that I have followed, like I back lead like so much. Like there's so many times where I anticipate, oh, he's gonna do a right turn. Okay, I'll do it for him. And it's the same thing that like we criticize, huh?
I said, what a nice guy.
I
You're
know.
doing it for him.
You know.
Hey. My bad. Hey.
No, but it's the same thing like the same thing that we complain about. It's what we do because we don't want to kind of let go of the reins and just kind of, be in control of somebody else because then and that's not fully in control, but it's like being able to communicate and receive like those messages and not just try to guess them because if you guess them right, it's good. But if you guess them wrong, then it becomes like opposing forces, and all that does is just make a really unpleasant dance, and it's not fun. It's not cool.
Yeah,
So
I feel that.
yeah, I think it's leading is hard because everything is on you, but following it's hard because you have to let go sometimes. And
Let go of
letting
control.
go it's hard and scary.
Yeah.
dude. Well, I don't know. Like when I fall, I just don't even react sometimes because I've never done it. So when someone tries to give me a right or a left turn, I just like stand in place sometimes, and then it's kind of awkward with the lead.
Yeah, he'd be like,
And I'll ask like, "Hey, what was I supposed to do?" I don't know. It's like super awkward. I'm just so stiff. I don't know.
no, it's fine.
What's your guys' worst pet peeve when you're social dancing?
I don't know. I just like being out social dancing. So
I think back leading is one of them.
I just like.
Like,
being
don't
out
back
there.
lead, but I feel like back leading happens less and less as you move up as a lead.
Mm-hmm.
I think the higher level you get, the more your follows like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm just gonna let go. Most of the time, I guess it just becomes hard. It's just like them missing cues, but most of the time that happens because like it's like the first time dancing with me, so they don't know how I lead. So then I have like a soft lead, and then they miss the cue that I have, which is very minimal. But I know starting off though, just for sure backleading would annoy me because I'm like, you gotta trust me to do the move, and if you don't trust me, then like, why are we dancing? You know? Yeah. Yeah. Why are we dancing?
Yeah, I guess I'm like, it's just nice for me to dance though. Me getting over the fear of like asking people. I'm at that stage where I don't care how the dance turns out.
Okay.
I make the best of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
What's
so.
your pet peeve, bro?
I think it goes both ways. Like I hate when not hate, but it's just, it's frustrating when you're trying to just vibe or you're trying to do, but the other person's trying to do the most. But then
Explain.
like for
I've been there,
Call
bro.
them out.
I've been there before.
no,
Who is
We need
it's
names.
Yeah.
It's just when
Who's the most extra in the socials?
no, it's not even no. It's not so much the extra. Like you can be extra. Like you can add moves and do all your stuff while like we're still like grooving or we're vibing, but it's when that groove doesn't fit with the one that has that it doesn't match the music nor me as a partner, and then it becomes like, whoa, I'm trying to connect and you're not trying to connect, and it's a little bit funky and a little weird.
Can you give an example?
For example, if we're dancing, right, and it's a traditional bachata, and it's more like when it's calmed down and you're relaxed, it's like towards the beginning of the music, or maybe even after like I forget what the three parts of bachata are, but there's three parts, and usually I think the third one is when like it starts to cool off a little bit, but the middle one's like the main one. But it's like if we're cooling off and you're still trying to go like going all crazy on me, it's like just chill, bro. Or like I'm just trying to I'm just trying to groove out like a box step, and I'm just trying to groove, but instead you wanna do turns and do all that. No, I don't want to do a turn, bro.
Yeah.
if you don't if you don't want to find a connection, then it's the same thing as why are we dancing then,
Yeah.
That
I
I try to be the most like understanding that I can be, or try to like match their energy, and I'm not saying I do it all the time, but I try to, and I think it's when that trying isn't reciprocated, that's when it gets frustrating, because you understand that they don't really care about you as a lead, they just care that like you make them look good, and then
That's what they want, though.
I think, well, they...
I want to look bonita.
I don't want to look bonito.
Yeah, as you should.
I do think that...
I think.
Yeah, I feel like that happens because... I honestly, though, I feel like a good follow isn't about, like, looking good. They just want to feel good.
Yeah.
And
The
then...
vibes.
The vibes. But I've had
Vibe check.
the vibe check, we're going back. But I have been in a situation where that happened to me. It was like, I wasn't as knowledgeable when it came to dance, but I was still like dancing to the music.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this follow who was just going crazy, just moving so much. And I was like, I just want to chill out. And she would try to do extra stuff. Like an extra turn. You know what I mean? Like I do one turn and she'd like add another one. And just the energy was like too much. Like you could feel it like
She had big dance energy.
she
Not
did.
even
She
that
did.
it's too much. It's just it doesn't flow.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not in sync, and then becomes it's the same thing. It's like the back thing. You're clashing against each other, and then
Cause you're like, it's like they're loud, but for me the music sounds chill, and I think that makes me feel almost like she wants, in a way, like she's just showing off her moves,
right.
you know. And I'm pretty sure follows get that too, though. Like,
yeah, definitely.
like they get like a guy who just wants to do a bunch of turns and then just like wants to do like sauce out, but when the music is just like chill.
Yeah.
And then going back to like the weekend, this weekend that just happened, I interviewed some of the dancers from out of town, and they talked about how the people here are more musical.
Mm.
So apparently, we are more like in tune with the music compared to like other cities, And that's interesting because I wonder how it is outside. You know, like what's the priority?
Phoenix.
Yeah, I guess Phoenix is killing it when it comes to that. But Arnold, what do you guys think of the experience of having like other dancers come and like, learn from dancers outside the state or whatever? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like learning from different teachers, from different schools, different modalities, all that.
Do you want to go first? No. Okay. I think it's really interesting to see all of them because we were kind of talking about this earlier with Liz, because Liz's teacher came from San Diego, and it was interesting to see how she danced because you can tell a lot of Kenna's the way she interprets music, the way she dances, the way she moves her body, all of that, it has been taken by, not taken, but Liz has derived from that, and then you can tell that when you dance with her. And the same thing with us. If you notice the way we dance, we don't dance the same, but a lot of the nuances or the random little
Details?
yeah, it's like they don't even have, yeah, it doesn't have to be like super crazy things, but little details you can tell that all like these 5 people were trained under Ed, and I was telling Liz, like, I wonder how she's gonna look eventually, like, she said that up in March is gonna be a year with Candela.
Okay. Like what her style looks.
Yeah, just her style. It's just gonna be, it's. I think it's gonna be interesting because I noticed the way people from Lions Dance Academy, right, with Benny, Brian, and Brandon, the way they dance.
Oh, wait, Benny's from Lions?
Yeah. Well, they all kind of work with that. I don't fully understand, but I know that he does have some. Yeah, right, and I mean, and Lions Dance Academy it's the whole like Mambo a lo Ayala, so it's a whole collaboration. But you can tell that Benny and Brandon have a similar style, and that is given on to the ones that are with them, and you can see it there's a couple of guys that you see in their videos all the time, and you're like, oh, Benny does that, Brandon does that, all this, and same thing with us. If you notice our video, a lot of the stuff that we do sometimes. For us, it's whatever. We just assume that it's normal. But if other people are looking at it, they're like, "Oh, that's Ed right there," or "That's that." And same thing with who's the other one? There's another Empire Mambo. The people under Adolfo, like his students also have his flavor, and so it's interesting when all those. When people start training under different people, how all those kind of merge because even Benny and Brandon trained under Adolfo.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So then you think about that, it's like, oh, okay, well then that's derivative of Adolfo, but then Benny and Brandon have given a different flavor to the ones that follow them. So it becomes this weird like web of dancers and how we're all interconnected. But what was the original question?
This got deep quick.
No, that's good. It's really good. It's just how do you feel about this weekend dancing with other dancers?
Yeah. That it's interesting to see all the different little nuances of people and how we dance, and then we notice, for example, the caleña, right? We notice the way they move, and we're like, okay, we want to mimic that, and then we start trying to add it to our flavor, but then it becomes this weird thing where it's. Okay, like this is partly Joel. It's like Joel's flavor, but the foundation of Ed, So it's just it becomes this huge like pot of just sazon, It's just
like mountain pot.
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know, but I find it so interesting the web of dancers and how we're all interconnected.
Right,
even if we don't.
I'm just gonna talk for the next half hour, guys. He knows everything.
No, I don't. But yeah, I do talk a lot.
So much.
I'm sorry, I do talk a lot.
Wikipedia.
That's good. You keep talking, bro. Because it was good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, and okay, sorry. But last thing. If you and then you think about it, right? Eddie Torres was the one that started it. Eddie Torres trained under Adolfo. Adolfo trained under Sorry. Adolfo trained under Eddie Torres. Benny and Brandon trained under Adolfo, and then the people that are up and coming train under him. But then Benny also has, you know, influence from other people, or Benny and Brandon have influence from other people. Same thing with Adolfo and all that stuff. And again, it just the web just keeps on getting deeper and deeper. Sorry, I'm just talking about webs because
No, I love webs.
You need a web tattoo.
I just went to go see the new Spider-Man movie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
That's why you keep talking about webs.
I don't know.
Intermingling.
Hey.
No, I think and then I want to add, imagine, because like my movement, I have like flavors of cumbia in there
Yeah.
that like nobody else can like I could teach it, I feel like, but people can't really replicate it because it's what. Yeah, and so seeing that and then thinking, okay, so what about other genres? Because then I'd be doing some hip hop moves when it comes to bachata, which I don't have any training under, but I just taught myself a little bit. So I think just thinking about the different dancers, it is great. Adding to what you said, seeing kind of like the lineage, I guess, or like the inheritance that every dancer carries, from their
Right.
teachers, but then also like the newness that defines them because they stand out. There's a reason they stand out because they made something new from what they learned. So I think it's almost like you get to see a piece of, for example, like San Diego. You know what I mean? You get to see a piece of San Diego. You get to see a piece of Oregon. You get to see a piece of New York, because all these guys are located over there. It's almost like if you go social dancing over there, at least in my experience because I don't really go out. But like going to dance in California, that's the only place I've gone to, I think. In San Diego, they dance way differently, I feel like, or at least there's a noticeable difference with how they dance. The music they listen to, too, like the music the DJ plays. I think this time around, the DJ played cumbia because we asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure, I don't know how it is in San Diego, I doubt they would be playing cumbia, like, at a...
At Congress.
Yeah, well, at a social, you know what I mean? So it's interesting, like seeing the potential that just dancers have when it comes to mixing and like matching styles and like flavors. Like you said, it's a big ass like melting pot. So yeah,
What do you think, Will, about all this?
Dude, yeah, to be honest, I don't think about any of this. Because, again, it's still so new to me. I'm just doing the thing. I'm just going to class and social dancing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll notice it as time goes on. So, I mean, I was at a social in LA, and to me, it just felt the same as back home. I don't know.
Mm.
So...
Maybe that is good. Like not being able to notice those things.
Not yet, I don't know.
I feel like
I'm just there vibing, bro.
I think it might I think it happens with time. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't start to appreciate it. Like I didn't know that there was a difference I didn't know how big of a difference there was between sensual and like traditional bachata
Oh yeah.
until I went to San Diego, and they taught. There was 2 congresses. There was the first one in January, and then we went to one in Cali that was. Oh yeah, there was a traditional, and then the yeah. So we had stars celebrities, or not celebrities, like artists that taught sensual, and then we had artists that taught traditional movement, and like the difference was huge for me. So I didn't notice that though until like like a year, like 6 months after I started like being on the team. So I think it does take time.
Yeah.
Because then you get to feel it in your body, and I don't know. I think it's dope trying to switch up flavor too sometimes. I don't know, like you're dancing and you're like, oh, I can whip out like a sensual move right here, like sensual mode turned on.
Sensual mode.
Or like I don't know, or like Eddie mode turned on, or like Benny mode turned on. Like I think that I got a move I learned from like I made sure to remember it from like Adolfo's class. And now I think about it, and like I know that nobody else has that move because I be looking around for people to do it, and like they don't really do it. It's like just like a hammer lock into, I think it was.
Can you show us?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's
yeah. It
yeah.
was the one that we did with his workshop.
With his workshop, yeah. It was like a hammerlock, and then
And like 2 spins.
and then 2 spins after I spin her.
And then you spin her, and then
Yeah.
you put it over
Yeah.
your head. Yeah,
It's like and then I started adding my own thing where I did 2 spins instead of 1 for myself. So then like I just squeezed that in there. So like, and then I know in my head, like I know that nobody else practiced that. So I'm over here whipping it out at the socials, and it stands out. You know, even like at least in my eyes, I'm like, oh shit.
Alright, I'm gonna start looking at the videos that I haven't looked at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is why you should look at the videos.
yeah.
This is why you should,
No,
because you'll
but-
take your own. You'll take it.
I mean, it's also it also what's really cool about that is that you notice something in it that we didn't notice in, or that maybe we did in the moment, but then for some reason it stuck with you more than us two, right? So I think that's also really cool, and I think it adds to the whole differences between dancers. The things that you find interesting might not be the things that I find interesting, and the things that Will finds interesting might not be the things that I find interesting. But because there's things that I learned in congresses, I'm just like, oh, like I want to keep on doing that. Like for example, the in bachata where you go down, you go that like I don't know why, but I really enjoy that, just chilling and grooving with that. I could probably do 3 8 counts of that, just chilling like that.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why for some reason I enjoy that more, and whereas somebody else probably wouldn't do it as often. Maybe they just keep on doing their basic, and they're like, fuck this, like I don't want to do this. So it just adds to the intricacies of dancers and the uniqueness of each dancer. So it might. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
You good? Okay. I think I want to add to that where I think it's important that something I learned quickly was the fact that you can get to the point where you mix up salsa with bachata. Or like I'll be doing salsa moves in a bachata dance, or a bachata dance in a salsa move, because you do it so many times in the bachata dance that like you're like in the zone when you're doing salsa, and then it just happens.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. It's all the same. So people who are like, you know, coming up, like you'll. I think it's cool. I don't know. Like I think about it. I think it's best to just focus on like one move and just repeat the hell out of it. Cause you got like 5 workshops you did. I think in my eyes, the way I see it, cause you know, I guess reflecting on just my dance journey and my learning, the way I see a workshop is this is just an exercise for me to expand my ability to do different moves. So like they push me to see whether I can move this way, and if I can do it, then I know. So that next time they come around, or next time I have the opportunity to learn another move similar to that, then I have more capacity to learn it, because I've already been exposed to it. But I don't think workshops for me are for me to remember the shines, or for me to remember the choreo, or for me to remember like the specific pattern. I think workshops for me have been just, all right, Jose, can you get this down? Can you hit this can you hit this specific angle, this specific body movement? Can you emulate how the other dancer is dancing? And if you can, then that's good, because then next time it comes around, you have a more openness to like learning from that person.
The whole bandwidth and
A bandwidth. Yeah. So that, and then the way.
You want to explain bandwidth real quick? Just
You have to explain it.
It's some random.
Well, so it came from Eddie. Basically, he was talking about it. I think he said there's dancers. I think he said with skill and then with bandwidth, or I forgot.
I don't remember the other one, but bandwidth.
I don't know. It was just bandwidth for sure, and I think bandwidth was just like your ability to perform.
flexible.
To perform different moves, like different variations. And then
Do you think the other one was like levels or something?
yeah.
Like you could be like a really talented performer, but then if you don't have enough bandwidth, or like if you can't retain a lot of like moves, then your bandwidth isn't that large. But nobody takes away the fact that you're talented, but it just means that somebody that maybe is not at the same, maybe at a lower level, but they have much more bandwidth, and that they have much more flexibility in how much they retain. And it's not that it's not bad that you're one or the other, or that you have less than the other. It's just it's different places and different moments in your dance journey, I guess. That sounds so cliche, but yeah, I guess it is that.
I think it's a very good way of classifying where a dancer is. Like people are at different levels. You know how those stat bars in an RPG game, they'll be having like charisma, strength, speed,
My
like
charisma's maxed out.
It is because I don't have the bandwidth or the talent, so I'm like, damn, bro. I just gotta be talking during the day.
He put all his money in charisma.
Just max that shit out.
So what are you doing after this dance? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, and then like all these guys with like large bandwidth and skill just hate Will because he's just getting.
Bro,
like,
don't make me look like that.
he's getting-
but-
no,
yeah.
not
Make me
like
look
that.
though.
No, like it's true though. Like at the end of the day, like all those they're on there because they matter. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like the charisma, the bandwidth, the skill, all that shit matters. So,
And just the goal is just to get
max
better at
yourself
both,
out.
to max it out, and
yeah, or like choreography too. Like
yeah,
number.
that's a whole different thing because you're
Yeah.
talking about performance and yeah, but it's
All right, what do you think? How do you think choreography affects your social dancing? Do you think that like the better choreographer you are, the better social dancer you are, or is there a cap?
I think the way I see it, I think that there's two different muscles. It's like they use the same language, but they're two different ways of using the language. When you're dancing, you're performing, and a lot of things that we do in performance you would never do in a social dance, and you could, but the thing is that, for example, there's a move where we in our performance where we put our hands up like this, and then we put our right foot across our left foot. There's very little times where I could see that happening in a social dance, because if we're social dancing, right, and there's 2-3 dozen couples around us, right, and I'm dancing with my partner, and we just face one way and we go whoop.
Yeah.
Who are we doing that to? Like,
Yeah.
there's people behind us, there's people to the side of us, and then maybe the only people that see it is the people that are in front of us. And maybe you could do it like, you're jokingly doing it. That's cool, but it doesn't fit into the social dancing. So I think it's two different things. But performing that and being able to make the line just, and then putting your foot across and making sure that you don't hit your partner's foot when you're doing that move. You got to be conscious about that, and I think that's that whole performing muscle. So, and with social dancing, you have to be able to be more creative, be able to be flexible. In choreo, you can be flexible, but there's like the blockers are closer. In social dancing, the blockers are not even there. You could do whatever you want. Well, technically, the only blocker would be probably like spatial awareness, making sure that you don't hit somebody. So, but yeah, I think it's two different muscles that they speak the same language, but you interpret them very differently. And I think you can bring social dancing into performing, but not fully, and vice versa. But I think you can't go more than 25%, I want to say. But what do I know?
20%, bro. I was gonna say
That's why I'm just doing everything.
Yeah.
Right, and then I think,
Yeah.
but they're both valuable. That at the end of the day, regardless of we can talk about why each one's better and all of it, but they're both valuable. They're both good things to practice.
Yeah.
I feel like I just got talked into performing. Because I would take class after off season. I just wanted to continue training. That way I could get better at social dancing. And eventually other classmates would be like, oh, you don't want to perform? You're going to want to at the end of the season. And they're right, because after all those months doing the choreo over and over, or learning it, yeah, I don't even know why I did it, but at least I can say I did it.
Why do you think it was important for you to do it, or you think it was worth it for you to do it?
I think so. One, just there's obviously a fear of doing it for the first time, being on stage. So I just know if I'm afraid to do something and I do it, I'll be better off as a person. I'll probably improve in some intangible way, because I have no desire to do that, but because I had a fear of doing it, I just did it anyways. I felt like it made me better. I don't know.
How did it feel when you hit like your last like to when you ended? How did that feel like once you were over with it?
I'm just like, I just want to go backstage, dude. Like, chill out.
You didn't feel like a sense of completion or anything.
Fulfillment.
Yeah, I guess. Not really, to be honest. I was. It was nice doing it with everyone because I felt like I was a part of something. So that was nice. I didn't expect it, but that just happened like towards the end. I don't know. For me, like during the training, I kind of just didn't really think.
Right.
I just went along with the process and just didn't really question or say anything. Just let my whatever thoughts or feelings I had come to me. So I know like when you perform, you're supposed to make the moves very apparent and clear. I figure that would help in social dancing somewhat.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, intentions matter a lot when you're doing something. And
Right.
if you're not intentional about something, you know, right?
I figure that would transfer over. I do feel slightly more confident just performing. So
I feel like maybe the confidence would transfer over to social dance. I don't know. Like if I did something.
It's the same thing that like they always tell us. There is very few people that will do that. Like if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, right? Versus 8 billion people, right?
Yeah, did they get on stage? No, they didn't.
Exactly.
So what's up?
That's true. I give a shit.
Yeah, well, I was scared as hell, so
I'm not gonna talk that much shit.
But again, you did it versus
yeah,
eight,
I did it.
maybe seven. How many people? Maybe 7.5 billion people have never will do that.
Yeah.
Where are they at though?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I do want to add to this where I was contemplating or reflecting on my performance skills because one of the things I will say is that I hated like bachata, bro. Hey, bachata choreo for me is like
All right.
the
What's
worst.
my number then? I'm just
I know, right? Like
Yeah.
just bachata choreo learning
Podcast
that.
over.
I know. Sorry guys.
We out.
No, like I love
Cut the
social
camera.
dancing. I know, cut the camera.
Yeah.
Take the shit. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
All right, so I love the social dancing, but bachata, but just doing choreo for bachata is completely different, or at least for this time around, it was like really different. Like the way you express yourself and the spaces that you have to like find to hit like your intentions and to hit those moves, like it's completely different than with mambo. Like it's a completely different tempo, different form of expression. With bachata, there's a lot more like you have to really hold your breath a lot sometimes. I feel like you have to really slow down. And with mambo, it's easier to just like you know what I mean? Because like once you get it, you go. But with bachata, you have to really be waiting, and I think it really pushes you to be more musical. Because with mambo, I think it's easier for me to be more like okay numbers, like hit that on this. You know what I mean? I don't know. At least that's the way I interpret information, or I interpret the music.
Right.
And I think after this choreo, I feel like I could see myself doing bachata a lot, like a little bit more, or at least liking it a little bit more. For sure, I will do it, but just liking and enjoying it more. The process for me was difficult because I'm just not used to that. I'm not used to. First off, I'm not used to doing choreo. Second off, I'm not used to like waiting like that, like really tuning into the bachata music like that.
Oh, okay. You're talking about like when we like picked our head up and then the.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff, or just even I had issues just doing like the part where it was just the leads, like just trying to like wait, don't be too fast, because also the way I dance bachata is very fast. Like I'll be doing like 8 steps in a 4 count. You know what I mean?
Right. You hit
Yeah.
all the syncopation.
I hit all the syncopation. So when it comes to bachata, it almost feels weird not hitting the syncopation when it's there. So because I'm looking for a specific like a specific choreo that we've been given. So,
Sorry, you're just staring at me. It's tripping me out.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
so I think I wanted to just add that I think people who are interested in choreo, for me, if I were to tell myself in the past, like, yo, what would you know, I know you hate bachata, but like, you know, what I would say is just like it's a different form of expression, and you're gonna be frustrated because you're not used to it. But because you're not used to it, you should do it. I think it leads to growth and
Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
yeah, and then you also find a different form of expressing yourself. So this time, like, really, like that's essential. You know, learning to be slow and learning to like. Sometimes with me, I love hitting all the notes because I feel like I can. But sometimes it's okay if you don't. You know, and like knowing to not hit them is also a conscious decision and adds another layer of sophistication to your dance. So
There's a in comedy they have a thing where they call like sitting in the pause, where a lot of comedians like to fill in space. Like whenever it gets awkward or it gets silent,
Quiet.
yeah, they just want to fill in space. But sometimes like the best comedians are the ones that just hold it and just relax in it, and they kind of play like a little game of chicken with the audience. And it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing, or not, maybe not the same thing, but it's very similar in bachata or in any dance. It's like learning how to sit in that pocket, just sitting, just calming down. All right, here we go. And I get that too, because there's the one move where you hold there's 1, 2, and then where you hold the 3, and then you fall into the 1. It's more when you just have the homegirl, you know, when you put your hand up and you're just doing your own little footwork.
yeah.
Just falling into that shit.
Or the homeboy. We're progressive. Or the home, whatever you identify as.
The home.
I dance with everybody.
Yeah, we don't discriminate.
Yeah. Oh,
These
that's
dance
what you
moves are
mean.
rated E for everyone.
Thank you for taking the time to tell me that. I felt like, because I asked, like, it was a huge chunk of
But
time.
not that there's.
It's just those little. Again, it's the same thing. It's like you notice people doing it, and you're just like,
That's cool.
like, it's cool, and I want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think also like if you don't know, it's better to ask than not know. You know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Cause fuck, bro, like I've been so many. We could probably talk about this too. So many times where we fail to ask questions about like, oh, like how exactly is this, or what's the intention here, or you know, how am I supposed to turn the follow here. And I remember a lot of times excuse me, a lot of times what would put me in the worst position was the fact that I didn't ask. And a lot of times, especially in practice, like in Wednesday classes, I would just basically play a game of sink or swim the whole time.
I think that's everybody. Because everyone's afraid to ask questions.
There's a couple people that ask questions though, and I feel like those people usually take out more out of the class sometimes because they actually get that like confirmation that it's like, yo, okay, you're doing it right, or like, oh no, you're fucking up here, you know. But if you're probably gonna have a better success rate if you ask versus if you didn't, you know.
Good to know. I'll start asking questions every Wednesday.
As where it's changed from.
What?
Ask Ed where it's changed
Oh
from.
man, don't bring that up. I hope he forgets. It was just a joke. Like,
Bro, that's just funny.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
All right. What I want to go over choreo one more. I think one more question. Choreo.
sorry, yeah.
No, it's,
Oh,
it's
that's
cool.
what the podcast
That's
was
what the whole
about.
thing was about.
Well, I mean, it is what we're making it about, bro. Whatever.
40 minutes in. No, it's good.
No, I mean, we've
Very
been
productive.
We've
like,
been talking about. I think we've got some
this
good
is like,
good content
I'm
here.
literally learning as I'm going.
Yeah.
This is like so informational.
So if you're learning, then there's people that are learning
yeah,
too.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
But I just wanted to ask about, just why should people do choreo? Like, why should people do choreo? You know what I mean? Like, why should I get in a team and do choreo?
I just start making up answers.
And what do you?
The only reason I did, like,
honestly, is because I just wanted more time in class to practice whatever it was, whether it be choreo or just learning new turn patterns or whatever. I just wanted to train. Training is training to me. Everything's still new, so I just wanted as much class time as possible. That's why I joined both teams. Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing for me. And then again, it goes back to, okay, well, I don't want to perform. It's nerve-wracking going up stage, but I can say I did it now. So
That's where I was going.
So I don't know how to articulate it, but I don't know if that translates to social dancing, but I think it does to some degree. I don't know.
I think it just translates
Why?
to you being more of a dancer. Like it adds to the identity of you being a dancer.
Mm.
You know, like I think that if you do that, then you have more. Then who knows? Maybe I can go and do choreo for hip hop. Obviously, it's gonna be different, but like because I had that choreo in performance, like with salsa and bachata, then maybe with hip hop or whatever other place, it'll help. I will say like one thing too, which helped me out. I never wanted to take a formal class because you know how they grade you on performance sometimes. I think at ASU, and I want to take a formal class or take on like dance as a career in a way because because there's a lot of judgment on your moves, so you have to get the performance right, like. And then
You didn't want that judgment.
I
or you
don't I
did?
didn't and I still don't. Like I just don't like I don't like restricting dance and like putting like a mathematical number to it, like a mathematical value to like hey like that was good. Like why is it that that's better than that move? Like why is it that this guy the way he expresses himself is better than the way this guy expresses himself? You know, even though like obviously it's choreo and you have to
Yeah.
hit a specific way.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why choreo is so important. You know, for whoever wants to or is on the fence about it, you know, it's important because it teaches you intentions and being intentional with your intentions. And what I mean by that is that you in a choreo, right? For example, the part that we danced the mi mente, that part, right? It's not so much that like one is more valuable than the other. It's just that you know Ed decided something and we were like if we get into that conversation of like oh well like that's not the best interpretation, there's a better interpretation, it's like that's a whole different conversation. But the fact of the matter is that if we're dancing a choreo and we are learning that the intention here is that we're talking about our mind, right, and we're doing a body roll into it, then all of us have to be in sync, right? And knowing, I think that's why choreo is important. The whole aspect of being intentional about your intentions, especially when you're social dancing. Sometimes, when I first started social dancing, a lot of times it just felt like the dance was the same thing the whole time. Or not that it's bad, but it felt like there was no emotion or not that there was emotion. What's
Like
the
the
right word?
story, the story was the same.
Yeah. There was like there's no beginning, middle, and end. It's just all one frequency, right?
It's just like a single beat, you know.
Right, it's just doom doom. So it becomes bland, you know, and I think with the choreo, it's understanding the intentions and being very intentional about that. Okay, this is what we have agreed upon, or maybe we didn't all agree on, but it's what has been said. And I think the important part is that we don't focus so much on, oh well, this shouldn't be like this, or this is not good enough. But I think it's more, you know, collectively, we're gonna do this together, so that way all of our intentions, maybe they won't be the exact same one, but they are similar enough that way that our collective intention is portrayed onto the audience, and therefore we receive a, what do you call it?
Reaction.
Yeah, a reaction. But it's not a reaction on, oh well, that one person looks different because all the other ones are doing the same and that one person looks different. And it's not because it's bad, it's just because it stands out. You know, not that it's bad or wrong, it's just it stands out. And I think it's that whole, if we're able to control our intentions, if we're able to get ourselves out of that, like, oh like, well, this is the intention that I want to put into this, and being like, okay, well, like, let me put myself in somebody else's shoes, and you know, let me do the intention that they wanted me to do. It pushes you as a dancer and pushes you as like, oh, like, I know that I can do somebody else's intentions, and I can do them to the exact caliber that they want me to do them. So I think there's a certain importance in that, and I think that's why performance is very important, because it teaches you intentions of what you should be doing and how you should be doing it.
I think that makes sense.
I think
that last part is probably what resonates with me. And a more simplistic reason why for me, since I'm just saying from a beginner's point of view, I just see the directors showing us the choreo. I'm like, oh, that's dope. And then when I do it personally and I see myself do it, I'm like, wow, that looks like absolute shit. Like, why don't I look like them? So like, for me, it was. I started appreciating choreo because it gave me a direction. Like, oh, I just want to look like how the directors lead it, the choreo. I want to look like that because they look really good doing. Even if it's beginner choreo, it looks really nice when they do it, and I don't like how I look when I do it. So, in a way, like I just pointed my efforts towards that standard or image, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It gave you.
For me, I just like again. I don't know if it's just my personality or because I'm new. I just like look at someone who's I think's better than me, and I just try to not imitate, but like just try to do what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to, well, what Eddie's talked about when he said that don't try and mimic people, but just know that like your movement is restricted because of your level or whatever it is, like your flexibility, like even like your height and like all that. Like all that's gonna affect the way your movement is seen. So like you trying to mimic somebody else's movement is kind of like hindering your growth because you're thinking like, oh, why can't I do it? But in reality, because you physically can't, like your body is restricted in that sense.
Damn.
So,
Here I am doing what I'm not supposed to do. My bad, Ed.
No.
No, but it's part of growth. That's a part of
but
growing.
like I think it you know it's just a double-edged sword. Like
Is it?
no, because I mean honestly, like we in our head, you know what it is. The way I define it or simplify it is like you want to mimic, but you want to mimic the feeling, not the look. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so like if a person does like a body roll and you're like, oh that feels like wavy. All right, let me try to be wavy right now. Boom.
And then it looks like I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, but you feel wavy though. I know.
I know.
Spiral, yeah.
I don't know, like.
But you're still wavy though, you know?
Yeah, but like at the Oasis social, like I felt really good the entire night social dancing. And then I got recorded and I watched the video. I'm like, man.
I did not. The feeling did not match the look.
Honestly,
Damn sure.
Honestly, it's gonna be like that for a while.
I'm like, I felt great.
It still is like that.
It feels like that for a while, bro.
Until I watched the video, I'm like, wow, I feel horrible now. Like I felt so good in the moment.
You just give yourself time though, but what matters is like the follow doesn't even care how you look. It's just
true.
If they feel you and you're like vibing out and throwing those moves, like doing the moves that you think you're doing good.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're gonna feel like, oh, this guy's going off.
Yeah, I got trust issues though. They better not be lying to me because like
they can't lie.
I'll be taking that to heart.
They can't lie to you because
they can.
Because they're not speaking in the dance.
Like,
it's all momentary.
I guess.
You know.
That's why when I get a compliment, I'm like, do you mean it?
They do.
You hold that shit for a year.
For real. Be holding grudges for no reason.
They playing.
Oh my god.
No. So there's that, and then I think I do want to add what I meant by being judged. I meant more so like if I danced and obviously there's technique and like I hate the idea of technique of like oh you have to get it right.
Right.
Or at least I hated it. That's why I never took a formal dance class. Because I didn't want to feel like, hey, like you look dumb, like and like why, like for me it was almost like traumatizing, cause me dance like or I was never traumatized, but I was afraid of being traumatized because I never wanted to be like feel like I can't dance, you know, cause I know I could dance and I know cause I feel like I love dancing, but going to a class and people tell me like yo like. You look bad.
Like invalidates you.
Yeah, it invalidates, like completely destroys my. Like,
there's
That's a very normal feeling, I think, right?
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of people. I think dancing is very vulnerable. Yeah. So like teachers need to learn how to like communicate. Hey, like there's a better way to do it, or then be like, do you look like shit?
And I think for students, you know, not
that would make me feel bad too.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, bro.
Animate tears. No, but for students, well, yeah, for teachers, yeah, sometimes there's better ways to say things, but for students, I think there's what's his name, Angel Peguero, I think that's his name. He came to to an Oasis one time. Him and
Dope.
I want to say Stephanie or in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Angel
He-
Stephanie?
He posted a video. He said that as students, our job is to learn a technique, and then once we understand the technique, can do the technique, it's like you know the rules, so you can break the rules.
Yeah.
He was talking about a crossbody lead, how a lot of times technically crossbody lead, right, it's supposed to be you are in connection with your partner and you fully you change your frame with them. But a lot of times what most leads will do is that they'll grab the lead and instead push them with their arm. Whereas technically, technique wise, that's wrong. But he says like even he falls like victim to it. Like, oh, like he does that. He will like he'll be social dancing. He'll just grab them, and for the sake of like the style. But again, it's like knowing the technique so you can break it, but at least you are conscious that you are breaking it versus you are breaking it without knowing. Yeah. And I think that's important, knowing like, oh, like, I might be not doing it right, but I know that I'm not doing it right. And because I know that I'm not doing it right, I know where my weak spots are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think as far as technique, yeah, you're right. I think sometimes critiquing is not like the best, but I think if you at least know, it's better than not knowing.
Yeah. There's like levels to it, like not knowing, being talked shit to, and then like not being talked shit to, but
Because
no.
you know.
Yeah.
Do you think you feel like that because you danced before taking classes? Because for me, I have zero dance background, so I'm so receptive to whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like whatever feedback I get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm literally starting like with a blank slate,
Yeah.
so whatever feedback
Well,
I get, I'm just like, all right, cool. Like
I mean,
it doesn't do
affect you,
anything. To me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have no ego around dance.
Well, it's just like I have no
experience.
background.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. Yeah, well, yeah, because like honestly, it's like I have a relationship with dance and
you're breaking up with dance.
or like somebody's telling me that my relationship's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then and you
So-
gotta leave your old dance relationship for your new one.
Yeah,
you
and that's
feel
what
like you're
happened,
cheating.
dude. That's what it felt like
Yeah,
though.
you felt like you're cheating.
Yeah, it felt like I was.
Maybe that's projection. Maybe you are a cheater. Maybe that's something you gotta work on. Maybe you need therapy.
Maybe. Well,
I don't have that problem.
well, of course you don't. Yeah.
Of course.
Wow. You know what?
Because you
Fuck
need
this
something.
podcast.
You need something to cheat on before you can cheat, bro.
First of all, I'm not the one in my feelings over here. I'm just like, I was getting bombarded by questions. I kept getting the most improved thing. That doesn't mean I know all the damn fucking questions. Like, you guys should be like,
Dude, that's
the
crazy.
ones,
That's a crazy accomplishment, though.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
teaching me. I'm just like,
Well,
I'm
I
just
think
a sponge right now.
The fact that you got that award says a lot, bro. Because you just
Go
started.
full circle.
Because you started, bro. Then there's like what? How many other dancers are there in that class? Like 15, 20 more leads, and like out of them you got that. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna talk my shit.
Talk your shit. You can talk shit.
So no, that was very nice, very humbling getting that award. But I'm not gonna name any names, but I did get a lot of shit for like going out social dancing from not
At first or like after?
yeah or just like before.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about like
Yeah.
teammates? Or what?
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh damn, like that's crazy. How do you like? Why don't you sleep? Why don't you like just like why are you going out social dancing? It's because I started with zero experience. I really wanted to get better. Me sitting on my ass, just taking the class and just accepting whatever I got out of it, which is not much because everything was a struggle and it still is, but that's part of the process. So I figured I might as well go social dancing and practice what I know, or just do the same damn inside turn 1,000 times and still put myself out there, because I'm hoping something will pop up and I'll do a new move or something.
Which
You know
does
what I mean?
happen.
No,
It does, and it does happen.
Yeah,
That's how
because
it happens. Literally.
yeah, because from my observation, I've talked to social dancers who literally just social dance, and even though they might not have the technique, like they've listened to like the same songs over and over and over again, and they know all like the pauses or like
all the nuances to the song, and like they'll musically like hit the beat or like interpret it in a very aesthetically pleasing way compared to someone who just practices choreo and like never goes out social dancing. Like a lot of our team members don't, and that's fine. I don't like maybe they just like performing, but I know the reason why I even joined the team is because I wanted to learn how to dance properly, or I want to learn how to dance properly, and then that way I could social dance better. It all leads to, personally, that's the reason why I'm even doing all this. Which it's nice though. I like my award, so I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a good point. I think people miss out. I think because class is very linear. Class is like you input and you get an output. Social dancing is you input, but you don't know what the output is.
Exactly.
Like you don't know.
But it's like you're not applying it if you're not.
Going out.
Social.
Exactly. But it's easier to.
Using your metaphor, right? Like it's like you want an output. You want in class it's very easy to get the same output because we have been doing it over and over and over again. So it's like if by the end of the class you're not getting the right output, maybe you need more help in your fundamentals. Mm-hmm. But if like in a social dance, like the person that's doing it with you doesn't know it, so it's like learning how to get the right output, knowing okay, like if I lead it this way, it gives me this output. That's not the output that I want. If I do it this way, it gives me a different output. Oh, it's not bad, but it's not what I want. Yeah. So it's like knowing how to like whatever input you put into it, like like making sure that you get what you want. Yeah. And then maybe along the way, if you get something different, it's like, oh, I like this. I'm gonna put this shit in my pocket. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna use it at a later time. Mm-hmm. So I think honestly, the way you went about it, I think is probably the best, and I think it just goes to show that like that's why you probably got the most improved because you have shown like that whole process, like maybe whether you knew it or not, you went about it the right way.
Yeah, I figure I really simplified it. Just any endeavor, I feel like the more effort and time I put into something, eventually, the better I'll get at it. Like I know the process isn't linear, but that makes sense. Like if you put 1,000 hours into something versus 10, clearly the 1,000, like it's gonna be at least somewhat better, right?
You're bound to get better.
You're bound to be better. So that's just the way I went about it, really. And then like I would just go social dancing with my friends and be like, complain about class. Like, man, I'm not getting this. How are you guys?
And that also helps too. Like,
yeah.
I think it helps. Yeah. We open up and just.
And that's a big part of it too. I know like you go social dancing, but the word social's in it, and you meet a lot of people. And I wouldn't have even joined the team if I didn't get pushed to do so by my friends. So that means a lot too. So it's all encompassing. Yeah. I feel like the more I could do, the better. Like that's it. Like if I could do social dancing all the time, I would. If I could train all the time, I would.
I know.
It's just the more time and effort and everything. Just like locking in the studio and just
takes time.
Yeah.
You could have like a hyperbolic time
I
chamber.
know, dude. Like just like pause time and just come out like 50 years of experience and just like kill it. They need to come up with that invention. Put the studio in there. Yeah, that'd be dope, dude. Just come out and like create like new dances, new styles.
The hyperbolic.
Yeah, I think it's just time and effort. I don't know. Like I don't have any aspirations to do anything crazy dance wise. I do like appreciate everyone on the team and like the directors and the culture and everything, but for me I just it's so simplified and like I have no reason for it, but I just want to train and get better, and that's it. I don't focus anything long term, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like whatever the task is for the day, okay, we're just gonna do that. I'm just gonna focus on that. Like
one day at a time.
I'm not trying to look too far ahead. So I don't know. That's just the way my mind works. I don't know. If it's
I think that's the reason.
I'm not as ambitious as other classmates where they're trying to, I don't know, do something like make a career out of it.
I don't think anybody in our class wants to make a career out of it.
Damn, talk that shit.
No, I mean
They actually do. You're just like,
I mean,
what is it? You're just like.
No, I mean, I ask people like a lot of times, like, do you feel like you could do this, like, professionally or just, Okay, just the idea of being a director within itself is a completely different like mindset than being a performer. Because then being a director leads to being closer to being a professional, versus you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
That's intimidating.
I think it's honestly what ends up happening is the same thing that happened like with Will with like you get wrapped into like oh like let's just train train a little extra and
it's
then
just like consuming my life.
and then all of a sudden you're like oh
and
like what's separating me
money.
from performing like a couple $100
I
fuck it
know.
like I guess I'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like
an
an
innocent.
innocent 18-year-old.
you just been led to
Just led into it.
yeah.
But
I
I
think
think
that's
consumed my life. And
but
this is a cry for help. Please, someone help.
He's like, don't start dancing
I don't know, like
because you will be overcome. by
Yeah, people are after me. I don't know how to escape this life. No, it's just it's just.
But it's good though. I mean like I don't know. It's just something that it's better for this to be consuming your life than doing other.
Yeah.
No, I say that jokingly though. For me, I have a very addictive personality, and I know like before dance it was a gym. So I didn't really have goals for a gym either. I just know it made me feel good, and mentally I felt way better after working out. So I just pursued the act instead of like looking for a goal. Like I want to like be this strong or look this fit by whatever date. Like I don't have any timelines or horizons for dance either. I feel like I enjoy what I do more. Like I just vibe out. Like everything I do is just a vibe.
And you go ham like
Yeah, because I feel like you can do that. Like
Yeah.
because if you don't set any standards for yourself, you don't really. I don't really stress out other than like when I fuck up or I'm not getting something. But I know that's part of the process. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't get burnt out.
yeah.
Because compared to some of our other beginning teammates where they're like, dude, like I'm so tired after class. How could you social dance? I'm like, that's the best part. Like
Like
I could do whatever I want at social dancing.
Yeah. When you're tired, I think the best thing you can do is go social dancing. Like at least in my
It's
my
like
world,
fun because now
Yeah.
you're just like
you let loose.
Yeah, you let loose and like.
I can be as off time as I want at social dancing.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm just kidding.
But you can though. You
I
can.
can because
You
everyone's
can, though.
drunk at the social.
Exactly.
Just lit. Just ratchet. I love it. No,
In all seriousness, oh man, I totally lost my train of thought. No, so
I do want
because I don't have really any real like not real goals, but because I'm just I just like the act of like going to class or training in general. I feel like I enjoy the process more.
You're more interested.
Like I feel like I won't be burnt out because I just like showing up, if that makes sense.
Because you're intrinsically motivated versus what I notice is that a lot of people are extrinsically motivated. Like
they're looking for a result.
they're looking for results.
Or
They're looking
for
for
their
recognition.
happiness, or
They're looking
their,
for like
validation.
admiration, validation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you
just-
writing this down?
I'm looking up what the fuck intrinsically means.
Oh no, I got you.
Okay.
Intrinsic.
It's
Look,
a big word.
I'll go in
It
there.
just sounds good.
No,
It's
no.
gonna be out on the internet.
This is psychology, guys.
Yeah.
So intrinsic motivation, it means that it comes from like internal values. So like you like, for example, dancing for the feeling, just because of the feeling, not because you want to look good, not because you want to gain status, not because you want to get like you want to get girls. You do it
I
because
do.
you love dancing.
I
You know what
want
I
to
mean?
get girls.
I mean, we all
Liz.
Because of that.
but oh my god! So you're calling my mom, dude? It's like he's misbehaving.
Yeah. She's listening through the windows.
Extrinsically being the opposite, right?
Extrinsically not being the opposite, but more so it's just externally motivated. Intrinsic, internal, extrinsic, external.
Like,
So like,
just to
extrinsically would be like politicians.
Extrinsically, extrinsically would be like if I'm dancing because I want to get the status. I
or
want to
like
be a celebrity.
Well, this
Like-
is the thing. Like, there's a place.
This is just my mindset though, so I don't want to make it sound like this is just how I operate for my personality and how I think. Because there are people who are driven by whatever external values. Like if you want to get rich because you want like the status or whatever, like that's perfectly fine. Whatever gets you to your goals, like whatever mindset works for you. Like for me, I know because I just focus on enjoying going out or just going to class, meeting people, socializing. going out to socials after, meeting my friends, or just meeting new people, that's fun to me. So I know if I have all those like I don't know, like reward centers, like just that output of like, oh, I get to like meet new people and just dance with different people. Like that motivates me to go out instead of, oh, I just like part of it is to go out and get the reps in, but like it's fun going out social dancing in general. So if I keep it fun, then I'm more likely to continue doing all that and like wearing myself out, and like even though I'm losing sleep, it's fun. Whether Whereas if I just like put like a standard like, oh, I want to get this good by the end of the year, like that would burn me out and stress me out.
I think the fact that would you feel like that contributes to your success as MIP? You know what
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
It might be.
I think
You gotta do
hyping
this.
that up too much.
I think it, bro. You gotta
Cause like now I'm
acknowledge.
like gaslighting myself. I'm like, maybe the directors did that because like they were nice.
I am very personable and charming, I will say. I'll take that credit.
Charisma.
Yeah, maybe we're just like, oh, he's entertaining. Let's just give him an award. Maybe he'll shut up. But it won't. Clearly. No, it's just I don't know, dude. Like, it's like with anything. I know, like especially when I be talking shit, he just like he walks away. He gives me that look, like I'm uncomfortable. I love it. No, it's just I know with anything, any pursuit, if you involve ego too much, there's a use for everything. Like if you're insecure and like you're pursuing something to fix that insecurity, that's a very good motivator. But long term, I think anything involving ego would just lead to burnout. If that makes sense. Like if I can work at my highest output without any ego, then I won't really experience burnout.
Yeah.
Like for example, like before I joined, uh, the team, I was focusing on losing weight really, really quickly because I felt like, okay, if I'm skinny, I will be happy. And the only thing that happened was I got to where I needed to be, and I still didn't like how I looked, and I just stressed myself out, and I was extra tired from all these insane workouts I did. Even though like I got there, um, I got the result I wanted because it came from like a very insecure mindset. Like I just wasn't happy, or I wasn't happy with the result anyways. So with dance, I kind of approached it with a different mindset because it's so new and it's not as linear as like getting in shape. Like you can track your progress, like if you're getting stronger or you're losing weight or whatever. It's very not linear. So I know the mindset I had with training, weight training, it didn't translate over. So I had to be way more patient with myself, just with the process of getting better at dancing. So I just adopted a new mindset where I'm just gonna have fun. Like I will put in as much time as possible, and whatever mindset I gotta tell myself to keep going, I'll do that. So that's where like social dancing, all that helped. Like social dancing, like to know that I can go social dancing after class was like exciting for me. Even if like no one I knew was there, I could just like chill out and like it's
Be in
always
your own
nice.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you can dance if you want to. You can sit out and dance if you want to. It's just cool. But for me, I felt like I would have not got as good.
If I didn't social dance, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, like I'm not gonna be practicing anything outside of class unless I go social dancing.
I think that
That's just me.
I think social dancing is necessary, and I'm biased because I was a social dancer before a performer. So I think social dancing, if you want to be better at just vibes per se, just being able to feel the music, social dance as much as you can. Just as much as you can, put yourself out there, dance with different follows as much as with as many different kinds of music as much as possible. Because when you do that, you expose yourself to, like, oh, so this is how I get into the music. Because I think at first the hardest part is you're nervous and you're overthinking and you're like, oh, how do I do this? the more you do it, the less that happens. So
Well, that's my
Yeah.
goal too. I know some people just like performing, but for me, I just wanted to get better at social. I mean, I still do.
I think even the people that like only like performing, it's like you have to admit, or they have to admit to themselves that like,
they want to social dance better, bro.
yeah,
You
or
have
you,
to-
or in order
You
to
think
even
so?
be,
You don't think people just want to be on stage?
well, no, because in order to be a good performer, you have to be a good social dancer, and
That's
vice
true.
versa.
I think so.
I think it translates. Social dancing translates more into
Performing.
And vice versa.
a little bit more, not like by a lot, but like
Why
definitely
though?
a little bit.
Because bro, at one point, dude, you're on the stage and like you literally your mind isn't even there.
Right.
So like, go ahead.
Sorry. It's just because like, if you think about it, right? You can do the same, the choreo that you do, right? I can do boom, I can do tas, I can do all those things without the emotion or without the bachata in it, right? But if I know how it feels like when I'm social dancing, then I know that like when I do this, what would be the most natural thing would be X, Y, and Z,
It's like it completes the sentence. I feel like being a good social dancer is kind of like knowing how to feel the music. So knowing how to feel the music adds color to the performance.
It adds the adjective to the sentence, right?
Yeah.
Like if you say like the red car went down the street, it's like, oh, like the luxury red car went down the long ass street,
Yeah.
You got
It paints a
context.
clear picture.
I'm just gonna agree with what you guys say because I don't know.
It's a perspective, you know.
It's
It's a perspective, I think.
It's our inner thoughts.
That's a long-winded way to say yeah. So yeah, I like social dancing. So whoever shamed me, those people, I'm like, I like
'em.
it. So
Now they know
yeah.
not to mess with the MIP.
For real.
Oh my god, you guys
For
are
real.
just like hyping me up too much. Like I didn't ask for that.
People could never take that away from you, bro.
That's
Just know
true.
that, bro.
Yeah,
Like
that's true. It's
like,
hard for me to accept that.
people might like
He's coming
just
back next year, baby.
fall back on that. Like don't you like I know you don't want to use it because you don't want to get it in your head or
Yeah.
like, but whenever you're like down or whatever, like you could always remember like I still improve the fastest out of all these people.
I'm never
The
down.
best.
I'm always up.
Yeah. Exactly. Always up.
Yeah. No,
So-
but yeah, I just like social dancing at the end of the day. So it's like,
It's good shit.
I think that's good also just advice for people just stop trying to chase the accolades or like the external validation. I think your best measure for success and improvement, you know what I mean, is for you to capture a feeling, like look for the feeling, look for like intrinsic motivation, like go out to dance because you love music, because you love to dance, because you just like the feeling of progression when you're like, capturing that moment of you like, oh shit, I just did a new move, I've never done it before during a spontaneous dance. That moment, catching that moment is like gold. So like you looking for that is much better and is much more healthy. Like Will said, when it comes to like just burnout and all that, it's a lot healthier in that perspective. If you want to just like improve and be a better dancer.
Yeah, I just want longevity too. I don't ever want to, because I've enjoyed dancing up until now. I don't want any, I don't know, any external pressure to make me hate it.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's competition for people who are competitive. So I just don't have it in me to do that. I just want to get better for me.
And
Yeah.
I think just from my end as a beginner, I know I've said that like a bunch of times, but I think the best award I've got is like the friendships I've made along the way. That's the best award I've got. That's my accomplishment.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to end.